And welcome again, everybody. So I am going to quickly start out with a land acknowledgement, then I will move over to introducing our guest of honor today. And and let's see. Okay. So, as we gather in community tonight, SOLA acknowledges the unceded lands of the Sasquatch, Nisqually, and Coast Salish people. SOLA joins from the Duwamish land in Seattle with gratitude for the care that makes the community possible. I invite you to honor the Indigenous peoples of the land where you are gathering from this evening. Okay, so here we have Jeanne Simmons and Karen Willenbrink-Johnsen. They are the esteemed winners of the SOLA Award in 2025, along with three other artists. And so we welcome them tonight to share their behind the scenes tips for applying for the SOLA Award. So. The very first question I wanted to ask both of you is, how did you find out about the SOLA Award, and were there any reservations you had about applying, or or were you just excited and ready to go right in? Why don't we start with Jean, and then we'll move over to Karen.
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for having me. And
Welcome.
I think that I found out originally about the Solo Award when I was perusing grants online. I found the Artist Trust page, and mind you, I was in my late 50s at the time. So I kind of made a mental note that as soon as I turned 60, I wanted to apply for the SOLA, and that's what happened. As soon as I turned 60, I applied.
And
And
Karen.
as far as
Oh, sorry.
reservations, I didn't ha I had no reservations. I didn't have hugely high hopes, but I just went for it. I was so eager to apply for something that was specific to my demographic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, Karen, what about you?
Well, for me, I've heard about Sola just because I followed Jenny forever and love
Hmm.
her. Um, but I really didn't think ever to apply just because I don't think I believed in myself enough. And,
Oh,
I finally, one of my younger friends said, Karen, you just have to. And I realized that if you don't throw your, cap in the center, you're never going to know or, get anywhere. So the first time I didn't get in, and then I applied again and I got it.
that's amazing. I think that's super relatable. I think many of us, when we're applying for awards, we all think like, oh, we don't have a shot, or it's like, and I kind of had that, heard that tone from both of you, and so I want to just underscore to just apply. You never know. And Yeah, so I think I might have forgot to introduce myself at the very beginning. I am Robin Arnitz. I'm the Deputy Director of SOLA. And Nicole is also joining us, who is our Executive Director. Okay. So as we were kind of prepping for this, we chatted a little bit about some of the Artist Trust resources that you guys came across and what you use to get ready for this. And so Karen, did you use any of those resources?
I sure did. I think I used them all. I
Yeah.
went to the Zoom of the information about the award, and I also had a 20-minute meeting with the staff at Artist Trust that was very helpful with Lydia, just kind of answering a few questions that I did have. I forget what they are, right now. But what really helped me the most was there was a community meeting about artist statements that award winners had gotten in the past, and it was so informative to me that just it was excellent, really important for me.
hmm So what about you, Jean?
Yeah, I also did the information session Zoom, and that was so helpful. And I took a copious amount of notes. And, um, a lot of information was shared about, best approaches to writing a bio and an artist statement. And I really took all that advice to heart. Um, and kind of rewrote some of my, my artist statement for sure. And so that was very helpful. I also spent a lot of time on the Artist Trust and SOLA websites. And,
Mm.
there's actually, there are quite a few resources there. There's the YouTube kind of webinar about applying. Um, there are these sample artist bios, statements, and resumes from previous winners, which I spent a lot of time looking at and reading. So yeah, there's quite a bit of support there. Um, yeah, that's how that's what I did.
That's perfect. So, I am going to do a follow-up email after this call with everybody who is interested in it, because we have a few YouTube presentations of this, basically this conversation that we've had in the past with other awardees. So, I encourage you to check that out and get different perspectives, because different artists approach this in different ways. And I also wanted to call out a few dates for you with the timeline, which I'll also follow up with you guys in an email. But the application itself is going to be opening on February 23rd. But the guidelines will be available this month on January 23rd. So you can remember everything's on the 23rd. March, it closes on the 23rd. Um, and the info sessions that I know Karen and Jean found very helpful with Artist Trust is going to be on March 3rd, and they're going to have office hours the following days, the 4th and the 5th, that you guys can chat with them. The board will vote in May, and the public announcement will be in June. Great. Okay, so another question for you guys.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sure,
Can I add something?
absolutely.
So this year, as some of you know, we have a special 10th anniversary, and we are having a kickoff of that 10th anniversary at the Tacoma Art Museum. The awardees from the beginning through 2025, and possibly some representation of awardees from 2026 will be in the Tacoma Art Museum show. So normally we have a little party. Well, we're going to have a bigger party this
Mm.
year. So that show opens on July the 18th. And there might be a brunch. This will be announced, but just another possible great opportunity to gather together in person might be on that July 18th brunch. And we're celebrating the show. You definitely will want to see it. Thank you for letting me pop in.
Mm.
It's going to be good. I've gotten a little sneak peek behind the scenes, and I'm so excited for it.
Me too.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, so did you share your application with any friends? Have them look over it? This is a question for both of you.
Mm. Well, my husband and my daughter are my um, great editors and support artists. My husband is also a visual artist. My daughter's a dancer. So I always run everything by them. And
Nice.
those are the only two, though. I didn't go further than that. But it was helpful. It's always helpful because sometimes the language reads smoothly in your own mind, but then for someone else, it's choppy or, so I think it is really helpful to have a couple people proofread and give you their input.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for me, I had like 3 pages toward my artist statement, and I went over to a friend's house who's an excellent writer, and we kind of went through what's, was very important and honest for me. So I feel she helped me a lot with both my artist statement and my bio.
Mm.
The honesty is something I keep hearing from past awardees too. Like the being very true with your statement to is what's gonna make it shine, it sounds like.
Well, for me, I think that like honesty is confidence.
Yes.
To be able to say it anyway, it's courageous. Honesty is courageous, but it's also confident. So I think that I mean, helping get that award really pumped that into me of
Yeah.
believing, in your sole purpose. Yes.
Yeah.
And Nicole, can I pick on you for a second? Because I you've had so many such great advice about this, like in relation to artist statements in the past when I've heard you talk about it. Would you mind maybe chiming in a little bit more?
Yes, I
Sorry to put you on the
would.
spot.
So not prepared, and I know all about the artist statement.
Yeah.
Well, it's a whole, I'm sure, do we have a community call where we've talked about the artist statement? Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's hard to put it all into just a few sentences, but I love the idea of authenticity.
Mhm.
And, I would start with a bullet point list of your most authentic things and then begin to narrate from there. You know, who are you? What really brings you to this moment? And this is not an award based on one body of work. This is your dedication that you have had for 25 years. I mostly see women who have worked many more than 25 years, but it only is 25 years. It doesn't have to be 25 years at a time in successive history, but authenticity and just what brings you to this place.
Yeah.
Is there something specific, Robin, that I said before that?
I, I think that sums it up. I will also mention that there is a video option for the award as well. Yeah. Do you know if any of our artists in the past have used that?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Janice Arnold did one, and I
Okay.
know that in one of the conversations about how to apply, or maybe it was about doing video. She does give, I think it was the DIY video community call that we did in the past, and she
Hmm.
does talk about doing a video, and you want to connect with, I think the advice to connect with whomever at Artist Trust is doing the advice giving, you want to connect with them. That's what they're doing. They sit in those panels for hours and possibly years they have sat there. So they have a lot of insight. And there are, what Janice found was that there was something she said that they really are like, no, you can't say that or you can't do that. So make sure
Mm.
that if you're pushing the edge of the rules, don't.
Right.
That's the one advice about grant writing is just follow the rules. And it seemed like that rule in particular, whatever it was, I'm sorry I don't remember, but you'll have to go back and watch the community call now. It was like, what, really? But yeah, so make sure you just know what the guidelines are, which are coming out, and then I think video is a great option myself if you feel
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Did either of you do video?
I did not.
Why not?
Um, uh, all I know is glass.
Yeah,
I'm not a video. I don't even like movies, so video's not in my bleh, anywhere.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Becky
fair.
just mentioned that Jan Dove, she believes, applied with
Yeah,
that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think for me, I having fewer variables that I need to manage is easier for me. So just having words on page versus dealing with the whole, you know, environment and my own personal presentation and then having to speak. So just writing's easier for me. So I've gone with that. But when I was on the website today, the SOLA or Artist Trust website, there are, detailed guidelines for doing the the video or audio for the bio and the artist statement.
yeah.
But I also did want to mention that one of my takeaways from that info Zoom last winter was the advice to avoid cliches or jargon or art speak. And I was so happy that that was something that that you valued because that stuff is just such a turn off for me. Like
Hmm.
I just find it to be this kind of artifice or this intellectual overlay. I guess I'm more interested in the heart of things and not an intellectualization of the creative process. So when the advice came to avoid that, I was like, yeah, great. And I think what I noticed in some of the artist statements that I read on the website was that there was this sense of like the unique journey that each artist took to get where they were. And they were very personal, those bios and artist statements. And I just really responded to that. I just felt like there was so much heart in everybody's statement.
Oh, yeah, that comes back to that authenticity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Thanks for mentioning the art speak. I mean, you're talking to a panel of your peers. Just talk to them. Tell
Yeah.
them who you are. Tell them why you're there, why you deserve this. And just to
Right.
clarify, the demographic that these panel of peers are hoping to find are women who are 60 years and older who have dedicated at least female identifying individuals who are 60 years and older who have dedicated at least 25 years or more to their art careers. And through the years, they've had these accomplishments and their successes, and yet they're under recognized. Now, I can look across the field of women across the state that I may recognize and somebody else doesn't. As I move out in the world and I talk about Jenny Ruffner, who we all know, many people don't. So, what does that mean to be under recognized? First of all, and as you may know, the Twining Humber Lifetime Achievement Award is paired in the same jury. So, I think everybody should shoot for the Twining Humber Lifetime Achievement Award, and congratulations if you get a SOLA.
Absolutely. So one question we get quite a bit is how do you choose the art that you chose to put into your application? And so can maybe you guys can speak a little bit as to did you do recent work? Did you do a like kind of a representation of different stages that you've had? How did you put it in your application?
Um, well, for me, I probably put in um, 25 years worth of work, starting with my oldest one, but I felt that I just kind of gave a glimpse of a different series that I worked on. And I also feel that how I presented my glass kind of showed my evolution as an artist.
Mm,
Hmm.
mm,
Nice.
yeah. And I, I showed a couple of things from long ago, 35 years ago, but really leaned into the work that I feel is my strongest and also representative of like my mission as an artist. So I really shared mostly more recent works from 19, I'm sorry, from 2018 to to very recent. So because I think that's my strongest work and that's what I feel most like um, in love with. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. But I did want to show that, I did want to show something from the far past that still resonates and is still meaningful to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you guys have any particular thoughts that you feel like you need to make sure you share that about your application process with everybody? That's like, this is something you should definitely do. This is what I did.
Yeah. Well, personally, I feel like, approaching one of these applications, you should approach it as though, I think like you're applying for a job almost. Like if you're applying for a job with a new company, you'd become very literate about that company, you'd vet them, you'd learn about them, you'd try to understand how you would fit in with that, organization. And so I kind of, for myself, approached it that way. Like I got as much information as I could from the website, from the samples that were offered. And I was I rigorously adherent to the guidelines.
Hmm.
I think that's one of the easiest and first steps for applying to one of these things is make sure you're working within the guidelines that have been offered you. So, attention to that detail. Um, Having good photos, good strong images for your work samples, I think is very important. And of course, you know, obviously every piece of this application is very important, but I do think the work samples perhaps first and foremost, that's what people are looking at. And yeah, so that was, oh, and then start early. Don't try
Hmm.
not to wait till the last minute because even though there are supports there within the organization to help you fairly late in the date, I think it's so nice to not be trying to push it through last minute. So I would recommend getting an early start. Yeah.
Um, I too started right away. And I think it took me, a couple weeks even to start getting comfortable with my application. And the more I, was involved with it, the more I believed in myself. And the more that I believed in myself being able to, perhaps get the award. But I think for me, it was learning to be comfortable instead of afraid of it, which
Mm.
when it comes to things like that, I'm very fearful of usually.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question from Stacy. How many work samples are allowed? 20. And I don't know right off my head. Nicole, do you remember how many they're asking for this year? Or-
So SOLA is not actually, we don't even get to see your applications. We get to see the
yes.
winners' applications, and everything is managed by Artist Trust. So I don't know the number of that. But do you guys remember? Was it 20 or
Yeah, it was
It
20.
was 20
20.
last
Okay.
year. Yeah.
Thank you.
probably going with the same? Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, read the guidelines. Maybe we're
Mhm.
intentionally not telling you so that you'll read the guidelines.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Stacy. Are there any other questions from the group?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, I mean, you guys are kind of famous. So, how did you talk about your fame in your application?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I did not do that. I don't, I don't feel famous. I think I'm very mission driven because I feel that this is a calling for me. It's my highest calling and I'm on a mission. And and my mission has to do with expressing my personal mission. Everyone has a different one. My personal mission is that feel called to express my reverence for the natural world again and again in as many ways as I possibly can. And so I think that I focused on my mission in my statement and not, I feel like a beginner compared to a lot of the women whose resumes I saw online. I mean, I do not have a resume that compares. And so I felt kind of like, I felt insecure about that. I really did. My resume is spare in comparison to those that I saw on the website. So yeah, I didn't approach this from a mindset of that I'm famous. I approached it from a mindset of like I'm just one little person trying hard to express something that I care deeply about. And that's how I approached it.
Thank you for that honesty. I think that's going to help everyone who feels like I'm not famous. And when I say you guys are famous. Karen's a different story. You are famous, but but Jean, you were very much highlighted. I mean, just the great story that you have of blowing up on Instagram from your work, and
Yeah.
you know what is fame anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm always curious, and I think it'd be helpful for people here if you feel like I haven't blown up on Instagram or I wasn't. Speaking of blown away, I wasn't featured on the television show. What do I do, and do I have a shot at this? And so that really possibly helps others. Karen, how did you approach your great
Okay.
TV performance?
Okay. I didn't even see it on TV because I don't watch TV. The reason I did the show is like just to promote live your passion, love what you do
Aw.
with your life. That is who I am. I mean, that is my purpose,
Mm.
in life to share. So, but when it comes to glass, I've probably taught well over 100 workshops in the last 30 years. So in glass, I know thousands of people, and I think, wow, you live your whole life making your community bigger. So I never, I make so many mistakes in life. I forget that people even know my name. So, it's all good. I just stick to what I love and leave it at
Yeah.
that.
So did you mention blown away in your application?
I don't know. I forget.
Okay.
I mean, honest to God, I forget I
Not
was
that
on
you
the
need it.
show till people say,
Yeah.
don't I know you? And I'm like, at the
Yeah.
farm store? And they're like, oh, never mind.
Not that you need it. I mean, you're right. Honestly, I'm always I'm always so honored to see the women that get selected, and I'm always so disappointed in the ones that I know didn't get selected. So you just never know. But that I think, again, for those of you who haven't been on TV yet, or even if you have, there's the choice or not, and your resume and your artwork itself, but the accomplishments. It is about your accomplishments. So. I have not sat in on the actual panels. I don't know if they, talk about these things, but that is a prerequisite of sorts that people are looking for the women who have, really dedicated to their careers, and maybe there's under accomplishments, but that is also really subjective too. So typically, the panel of your peers is really accepting of the dedication and looking for that. And we all know, I'll just go back to Jenny. I mean, the reason she started SOLA was she was looking out at all of her peers and saying, why aren't they better seen and known? And she
Mhm.
started SOLA for that very reason, to use her platform to elevate the recognition of women. So don't be afraid if you haven't, been on TV, or if you didn't blow up on Instagram. I just wanted to call out the fame in the room here. And I appreciate your humility for both of you and allowing me to make you as an example. I don't mean to embarrass you, but
Never.
if somebody's thinking, "Oh, they got it because of that," but you've dedicated a lot, and if it's whatever it is, I appreciate that dedication, and obviously your peers did also.
I just want to say, I was on TV, but I've worked my life harder than probably anybody I know in glass, in labor.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Mm.
Ah,
that's who I am.
yeah. So if you win the SOLA award, you can also still apply for the Twining Humber Lifetime Achievement Award. So at the same time, once you win a Twining Humber Lifetime Achievement Award, you can't go backwards because the Lifetime Achievement Award says, well, you're finally recognized. So
Mm.
everybody wants the SOLA first because we have way more to offer.
There are a lot of perks, I have to say,
Ooh, so
in
what have you
Sola.
found beneficial?
Well, gosh, I mean, you've been so busy promoting us and helping us. I mean, um, we had the opportunity to submit something to the planner. So a statement and an image. There are greeting cards. Um, the videos that will be on the website. That's a lot of support for us. And I just feel very moved and grateful for that. And so yeah, we're part of your archives now. And that's very meaningful to me. Plus some money. I mean, most of us don't
Plus
make much
money.
money. Yeah, I mean, that was huge. And like Karen has reiterated, the what it does to you in terms of your, self-esteem as an artist
Yeah.
and believing that what you're doing is important and meaningful to other people. You're not in a vacuum. So it's been great. What a great, amazing, supportive team you have.
Thank you
Very
for that.
grateful. Yeah.
Nice.
We want more. We want more of you.
Yes, we do.
Well, now in the show, I didn't even mention the show coming up at TAM at Tacoma Art Museum. I mean, that's wonderful too. Gosh, so unexpected.
Yeah.
I'm sure
So
there's
any
more
questions
questions
from
out there. Yeah.
the group? And feel free to just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask them. There's a sweet comment for Nicole's empathy about the rejected people in the comments. So
Kills me. It
yeah.
kills me. I know what you guys are doing. I'm watching you. I've known you for a long time, and I honor your work. And it's like, oh God, I'm glad I'm
Yeah.
not picking because I pick a bunch more.
Okay, so we have a question from Meg. How many applicants are there generally? And
Around 100,
yeah.
between
Wow.
75, 125. It's a really tough choice.
Yeah.
That panel doesn't get enough credit for all the work that they're doing. It's growing every year, and once the word is out that SOLA is offering even more things than just the $5,000,
Hmm.
yeah, there's lots more opportunities. So there will definitely be 5 this year, at least. I'm not saying anything else, but I encourage you all to apply.
Can I say a quick hello to Meg, who just asked that last question? She's a fellow Port Townsend artist and amazing. Hi, Meg.
Oh.
Are there any, how can we support you? What are your questions? Do y'all feel confident? You gonna apply?
Yeah,
Have
who's
we
going to
convinced you?
apply? Maybe you can put up your hand, raise your hand if you're going to apply.
Just one? Okay, good.
Woohoo!
All right, okay,
On the
good.
edge.
Good,
Nice.
good,
Okay, we're
good.
seeing some. Excellent. Woohoo!
All
Esther has a
right,
big thumbs up
yay.
going. Nice, Zeus.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Oh, okay. Here's another question from Kate. Oops, I just lost it for a second. Did completing the application teach you anything about yourself?
Hmm. Karen, do you want to go first?
I guess I will, sure.
Okay.
One thing is it taught me confidence because I'm not really one to write out grants and stuff, but the more I worked on it, the more I believed in myself and the more, that searching for, you know, who you are and stuff. I mean, I just it I don't know, it made me love myself. What can I say?
Gosh,
Great.
I love that. Um, I think every time I am required to write about my practice as an artist or talk about it in an interview, um, it helps me. That process helps me identify the truth of what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm just living it, making things, but it's when I sit and write it out that it's a very clarifying process. So yes, every time I do an application, including this one, I feel like I did get closer to that kind of kernel of why, why I'm doing it, what I'm trying to do, what meaning this has for me. Interestingly, I reread my application to SOLA last year, and I reread my artist statement, and I was very surprised and my bio, because I didn't really toot my own horn. I was like, when we were chatting here, Nicole, I realized, oh, I could have said, I'm working on a film about my work with this filmmaker right now. I didn't do that. I was very vague actually about my achievements as an artist. So, I mean, obviously, it didn't work against me that I didn't call out attention to those things. But I think that I think it's a beautiful experience to put it in writing why you're doing this and what it means. So every time I do it, I learn a little more about it and also like the changes, like moving into, we all transform as artists and there's a trajectory. We're not always in the same place. So that my artist statement continues to evolve as I continue to grow. Yeah. I wish I could have had that experience that Karen had of loving myself so much more. I
Oh,
It
don't
was
think that
good.
happened for me, but that's so beautiful. I love that.
I think as I love that you said that because I think as women sometimes we don't toot our horn enough, and so I think it's a good idea with these applications to like
Mm.
over overdo it like more than you think you should, and then have maybe send somebody look at it and edit it. But I think we erring on the side of over explaining our accomplishments is not a bad thing for us. Okay, we have another question, I
I
believe.
think before we go to that question, what I
Yeah.
see every single year especially as we, excuse me, it's even hard to talk about, as we make the videos of women and I hear the stories, the real stories behind the scenes. If I could tell you everything that I've heard, we would be outraged. And I know we're all outraged anyway because we're all here and we've been there, done that, experienced it. So, I would say do not let society tell you you can't do anything or that you're not good enough. So, I challenge you to
Mm.
overstate your accomplishments, not to overstate as in lie, obviously, but just be real about what you've done. Don't be shy, don't be humble. This is not the time to
Yeah.
be humble about what you've done. You did it, be proud and show up. And even if you don't win a SOLA award, there are a jury of peers, and I don't know exactly I don't even know who's gonna be doing this, but it's other artists. Typically, they either have a Twining Humber Lifetime Achievement Award winner or a SOLA award winner that is on the panel, and then people from across the state in curatorial roles, director roles that understand what it means and who they're choosing from. Often they might even know you. So show them what you got. You never know what's going to happen from an application like this.
Love
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so there's another question, or kind of more of a statement, but I think it's also a little bit of a question. It says, when you sent your examples in of the older work, I assume you put them in the first selection. Is that true with how you guys did it?
I
Yes.
did mine in order, yeah.
Okay.
I also did that. Yes.
And what was your reasoning behind that? Was it to show continuity or like kind of a progression of ideas, or did you feel like it was stronger?
I think I was working with this idea of my own personal trajectory as an artist, because I significantly for me, I went from working as a sculptor who made three-dimensional objects to now working as someone who, is doing photographic projects. So I think I was trying to show where I came from and where I've wound up. So it just made sense to me to kind of orient them that way. I don't think it, I mean, it might not have mattered, but that was sort of how I thought it worked best for me.
Great. Is that similar for you, Karen?
Yep, that's exactly, my young
Yeah.
work and then how my work evolved. Yes.
Nice.
Historically, I've seen a little bit of both, but the typical answer is start with some of your best work.
Hmm.
Hit them with the impact of who you are, what your top hits are, and end. So start and end with some really good stuff. Because if you've ever been on a panel or sat in on one, they obviously this is Karen, and we're starting with this. The very first impression that they have, you want to hit them with something really good. And then the last one, they're typically going through a discussion about what they just saw and maybe, the materials that they've already read. So that last one is sitting on the screen while they're talking about you.
Mm.
So the first and the last, really good hits, top hits.
Yeah.
And then it's not a bad thing to do it in the ways, obviously, that these two did because they won. So something worked.
Okay, so Meg, you had a question as well, and it says to both artists, were you aspirational in your statement, meaning um, where you are going in your work? Do you want to expound on that a little bit, or?
Yeah, I've just more, just me speaking personally, I kind of know I'm looking out like 3 years
Mhm.
from now and thinking, okay, this is wow, this is the direction I'm going, and so wondering if, in addition to talking about the past, but just like
Hmm.
where are you going? How much of that forward looking did you talk about?
I personally didn't do very much of that. Rereading my statement today, again, I was really interested in expressing my mission and how that's unfolding now. And I did write specifically about my photographic projects and also my sculptural work because I'm doing that now too. And and I didn't talk about the future at all. I'm learning today that I did this all wrong.
There's no such
Clearly not.
thing.
Clearly not.
Oh.
You did something right, I
Yeah,
think. You're
good.
So,
Oh.
Karen, what about you?
I I think I did write a couple sentences about just, my future. But, I mean, gosh, I think that too. I had some friends talk about, oh, life's getting tough as artists, older artists and stuff. And I thought, oh my God, I just don't give myself time to think like that. I'm still planning, I'm still figuring out, oh my gosh, I have to fit this series in or things you want to make. So, you know, I, you know, I never want to slow down. So I
Hmm.
think I said something like that in my statement. That's all.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Okay, so we have another comment here. It says, I remember wondering when I thought about applying before if the application was asking for personal struggles as a woman in society or just art.
Hmm.
Um, I did you guys remember anything about that in your application, or did you address it in any way when you were applying?
I think I did. I addressed just a little bit. I mean, we're women, and I mean, when I went to Glass, there was very few women in Glass when I started, and there was a hell of a lot of hecklers. So,
Hmm.
you're coming into this. I look at young girls, and I want to say it was really hard 30 some years ago, but for me, I love what I do. And I just don't believe people that try to hold you down. So I did mention something like that in my artist statement because it is part of who I am and all that has made me who I am today.
Hmm.
Having to stick up for yourself and other women. I like to think I help younger women in glass is key.
Yeah. I didn't mention any struggles necessarily, but I did mention that, when I became a mom, that was I was a very intense mom. I was obsessed with being a parent and my kids, and we homeschooled, and so my creativity took a different route for a period of time. And I think what I do remember writing is that when my kids kind of got old enough that they didn't need me that much anymore, I sort of rediscovered my voice as an artist, and it was like a battle cry. It was like with such force and intensity, you know, because my life had been so child-centric for a long time. And when I finally had that time to create again, it was a very powerful thing. And I believe I mentioned that. And then when I read some of the sample statements on the website, there were women who talked about some of their struggles. Someone whose name I can't now recall, unfortunately, maybe but she, left her home country of Peru and had lived
Blanca.
terrorism for years before that. And what a journey that she described. It was very powerful and obviously impactful for her as a human, but also for her work and as a woman, naturally. So,
Blanca Santander.
Yeah. I really recommend watching her video, her spotlight video, and having a box of tissues next to you.
oh my God.
It's intense. It's really good.
Wow. Okay. Will
Yeah.
do.
I would say to that question, what is authentic to you? Obviously, not everybody has that story, luckily, of coming,
Yeah.
during the revolution in Peru and having to leave because she was held at gunpoint. So don't have that story. If you do, and it's part of your work and it's part of your dedication as an artist that has overcome something, then include it. But, this is not a project grant. It is not an award that's based on need emergency funding or anything like that. That's not to mean to exclude something that's been part of your arc, that's been important to your dedication. Sometimes just like you said, being a mom has been a part of the arc, and then all of a sudden, you had the opportunity. So it's not a negative thing as much as just authentic to who you are. I love these stories. It really conveys the authenticity really well.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Thank you for sharing so much and being vulnerable and letting us pick on you with these questions.
Well,
Yeah.
for me, it was very significant that I think in the mission statement for both awards, it's mentioned that there's an awareness that women often have to put aside or not necessarily put aside, but train their focus on raising families. And
Hmm.
it was very meaningful to me that that was mentioned because it made me feel like I did have a chance of getting this award, even though I wasn't doing shows during that period when my kids were little. There was an interruption in my resume, but it didn't seem to matter. So I was so grateful for that, you know?
Thanks for
Yeah.
sticking at it.
Yeah.
And for those of you thinking about different your own work and is my work going to be selected? I really encourage you to look at our website and see the variety of artists that we have. So some people are about the medium, some people have political messages. There's all different types of medium that are represented. So I encourage anybody of any ilk to apply. Are there any other questions that you guys have? And feel free just to unmute yourself and start talking.
I would like to say that listening, I've just discovered SOLA recently and started looking into, joined a few Zoom talks and things, but any hesitation I had about applying, maybe this tonight has really helped because, I think sometimes you feel like, when you make art your whole life and you have this career, um sometimes people have quieter careers.
Mhm.
They're not on, I mean, they're showing and all of that, but they're not on TV, or they don't have a bunch of articles written about them. They're just doing their work and moving through their lives and all of that, and it seems like this is a group that acknowledges that and makes a safe place for that. So I think it was really nice to hear her comments tonight and learn that tonight.
Thank you, Julia.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great. Any other comments or questions or thoughts?
Is there anything holding anyone back from applying?
Oh, that's a good question. I can see some
Great.
faces of people thinking about that.
I'll just say I've applied a couple times before,
That holding you
and
back?
haven't gotten it, so that kind of holds me back a little, like, and it's a lot of work, it's a lot of work. But I will say that hearing this is more encouraging to me. Only, I think the thing that the authenticity part, if I can be, really dial in, like someone asked about getting to know yourself through the process. If I can do that, and really, um, you know, uh, tune into the passion, like Jean said, tune into the mission and the passion for the work, that I really do feel that maybe it's worth going through it again. I don't know. We'll see.
It takes some time. It takes some time. Don't give up. That is another factor. So thank you so much for saying that. There's a really well-known artist, Paul Rucker, and I was in a conversation with him, panel discussion type thing of this artist trust bent, and he said he applied 8 times before he won. And I mean, he's a really well-known artist. I think he's moved on to other greener pastures than Seattle at this point. He's so well known. But yeah, you just don't give up. Don't give up. And even if you don't get it, again, there's this panel of peers that are going to see your work, become more aware of who you are. If you're under recognized now, then don't be by applying.
That's a good point.
Let them see you. Let them refine this authentic approach to living. This will become a future artist statement, I'm sure. So you'll use it for something else. You can put it on your Instagram page. Allow yourself to be seen. It's good practice for if nothing else. And even though I don't get to see the applications, I know that many of you have been trying. And I am your advocate, if you can't tell. Thank you. So
Well,
don't give
thank you
up.
for, yeah, thank you for those comments. And don't be shy to say what's holding you back too if you're worried about that. We're here for you, and this is a safe space.
Although it
But
is
no
being
pressure either.
recorded.
It
It
is
is being
recorded.
recorded. So
It is recorded, yeah.
understand if someone's
Thank you for that
uncomfortable.
reminder.
Yeah. It's a
But you
safe
can,
space
if
for
you
the
don't, if
whole
there's something
world
that
to see.
if there's a question that you don't want recorded and you want to email me, I'm going to send an email out and feel free to reply to me personally.
Thank you, Kate.
Uh, yeah, thank you, Kate. Cool. So, any final thoughts from you two? Oh, sorry, Renee.
Yeah,
Yes, go ahead.
yeah, I have a question. I too am new to SOLA, and I'm relatively new to the Seattle area.
Well, welcome.
And thank you, thank you. Uh, I was curious. The SOLA award is given in order to encourage us or to thank us for our dedication all these years that we've been giving to the arts? Or what is the purpose of these SOLA awards per se?
Jenny
Yeah.
started the SOLA award because she knew that her peers, Jenny Ruffner, founded it because she looked around and said, my peers are not recognized enough. Women need to be more recognized for the part they play, that we play in the cultural fabric. I mean, this was 10 years ago, 2016, when she founded the SOLA Award. So she'd been thinking about it for a couple of years. And then 2017 was the first award. But that was the impetus. Now, have we grown greatly since then? We gave one $1,000 award with nothing else. Poor Gloria Bornstein didn't get anything but $1,000, but she was happy with that and never complained once. But now there's a whole bunch of other things. So I think that we have grown to recognize what helps you to get better recognition. And if you just, I will just state plainly that there are SOLA awardees that just receive the award, and there's no obligation to get your video done. There's no obligation to participate in the Tacoma Art Museum show, although I will say that each one has said yes to that.
Yeah, everybody did
But
that.
yeah, or there's no obligation. We're just trying to support women in the ways that we think, and we do surveys and ask all the time, probably too much. What can we do for you now? So really, it's about getting women recognized for your part in what you've already done and helping you to be seen within that. And I mean, it's everything from giving you $5,000 to do whatever you want. It's completely unrestricted to, offering you a group museum show where you are seen, hopefully, by whoever comes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome. Is there anything else, Karen and Jean, that you guys feel like you wanted to share about your process or anything at all?
Well, I guess I wanted to add that I think applying for grants and awards is a skill, and that there are a lot that the Artist Trust and SOLA are offering a lot of resources and tools to help us get better at applying for these things. So just I think it's a wonderful opportunity to make use of these resources. There's the info session, there are the office hours, there's the virtual study hall. You're going to meet great people, all of them women, I think. And you're going to, learn tools that will help you apply for other things beyond this as well. You know, I learned so much just from that one info session that I did last year. So I just want to encourage everybody to make use of those resources, and um, it's, whatever we can do to enhance our communication abilities and skills, and hone our craft as so many of us are great at what we do as artists, and then we have a little bit of a deficiency in other areas. I certainly have struggled with that. So this is a great opportunity to strengthen those skills. And I just hope everybody goes for it and, use the resources that are being offered because they're great. And all of the people here are just amazing. So,
And I guess the only thing I have to say is if you don't apply, you'll never know. So, you know, find that courage and
Absolutely.
do it. And then one more thing is I know that there's a lot of anxiety going on in America right now, and everybody feels it. So that is why we have to make art. Art is healing, art heals us. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Karen. Oh, look at all those hearts from Nicole. I think that is a beautiful way to end this session. And thank you, Stacy. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me again. I'll be sending a follow-up email if you need anything. And check out the other videos for more tips if you need them. And take advantage of those Artist Trust sessions. So, um,
Eugene, thank you,
Thank
Karen.
you.
yes, thank you too
Yeah.
so much for all of your help and your advice.